Hello there, students. Thank you for joining me for this presentation. Today we're looking at United States History Semester A, and we're working on Unit 4, which is the rise of a modern nation, and our main focus is on the immigration in the late 1800s tutorial. Please remember that you have to have a notebook with you. This way you can be taking notes as you're moving through this tutorial. You will be able to use those notes in all the activities that we encounter, not only in this tutorial, but also on the unit activities. And our objective for today is that you will analyze the great immigration wave of the late 1800s and its effects on U.S. society. Let's move on. We are now on page 12 of the immigration in the late 1800s tutorial, and this is your lesson activity on immigration chart. Basically, that's what we're going to be doing today. And let's read the directions here so we'll know exactly what to do. So read the instructions for this subject activity, type in response to each question, and check your answers. At the end of the activity, write a brief evaluation of your work. And this is the activity we're going to be reading right now, but let me explain the links here, that what you need to do here. So you have in this particular activity 4 different links here. You have immigration, you have the Polish, you have the Irish, and you have the Chinese. You need to click on each link and review the content there. And once you have done that, you should be able to work on this activity. But let's read what you're being asked to do. Research the immigration of the Polish, the Irish, and the Chinese to the United States. Complete the chart with information about when the majority of this group migrated, where they settled, what challenges they encountered, and what contributions they made to American society. We have basically here the Polish, you have the Irish, and you have the Chinese. All you're doing here is just plugging in information from the links that you've been given here. And for example, years of major migration for the Polish, the Irish, the Chinese. Where did they go? Where did they settle? California, New York, Texas, wherever they may have settled, you need to write it here. What were some of the challenges they faced? Did they face a whole bunch of discrimination? Did they face like deportations? You need to be able to explain that. And the contributions made to American society. All of these groups of people made significant contributions to American society. Make sure that you write them there. You can use as much space as you need it. Let's move on. We are now on page 18 of the immigration in the late 1800s tutorial, and this is another lesson activity, and it's Ellis Island question. And let's go here to the activity already so you know exactly what to do. Once again, make sure that before you do anything here, first read the question that you're being presented to answer, and then you read the links that you're given, because the answers or part of the answers will be within this link. So let's read here the activity. Read more about Ellis Island history, focusing mainly on the Ellis Island of the 1800s to 1900s. Answer the following question based on what you have learned thus far in the tutorial and what you read in the Ellis Island history. This is why I keep on reminding you to use your notebook to take notes throughout the tutorial, because then you don't have to go back to the tutorial. You have all the information in front of you. Alright, part A. What was the name of the common physical examination performed by doctors on Ellis Island that took very little time? What diseases could doctors detect with this method? So based on the information that you find here on this article here, on this link here, and based on the information that you have gathered with your notes in the previous pages of this tutorial, you should be able to put together here a good paragraph explaining what happened. So you have basically 2 questions here. In this case, what was the name of the common physical examination performed by doctors on Ellis Island that took very little time? And secondly, what diseases could doctors detect with this method? Fairly simple. Make sure you provide a good paragraph here, which is at least 5 sentences. Let's move on. We are now on page 26 of the immigration in the late 1800s tutorial, and this is another lesson activity, and it's about immigration questions. Let's go here and read part A. To what extent does nativism exist today? So once again, you're using your previous notes, and then you're answering this question. But you have to first define what nativism is. Make sure you provide nativism is the idea that so and so, and then obviously you provide the information that you're being asked. For example, does it exist today or does not exist today? If it does, please make sure and give examples as to how, and if it doesn't, do the same thing. Back up your response with evidence. Part B. What are some of the nativism arguments that you have heard made today? Again, what are some of those arguments? What do nativism claims? And what is their philosophy? What are some of their arguments that many people see as bad today? Please make sure that you provide at least a good paragraph here too. Part C. How are these remarks similar to those from the late 19th century? So right here you're comparing nativism today, and then you're going back to the late 19th century. What are the similar arguments? What are they saying? Are they acting the same way? Are they acting selfish? Are they seeing other groups of people in a bad way? And if so, how? And provide evidence from what you have read so far. Well, this is the end of this presentation. I will see you in the next tutorial.